It began with fear, quiet, creeping and suffocating. In the early 1960s, Boston was a city under siege, not by war or politics, but by a phantom who slipped through locks and shadows. He came at night. He left no witnesses, and he seemed to choose his victims not for who they were, but for where they lived. Alone, unguarded, and afraid. Between 1962 and 1964, the city became the stage for one of America's most haunting murder sprees. 13 women, young and old, rich and poor, found strangled in their own homes. No forced entry, no sound of struggle, only the signature. Nylon stockings or scarves tied into grotesque bows around their necks. The press called him the Boston Strangler. The name alone chilled an entire nation. At first, the police could not make sense of it. The murders seemed random, almost mocking. The killer struck in different neighborhoods, with different methods, always one step ahead. Panic spread faster than truth. Locksmiths couldn't keep up with demand. Hardware stores sold out of bolts and chains. In this climate of paranoia, the city's women learned to fear their own apartments. Each creak of the floorboards, each knock on the door might be him. Then came Albert DeSalvo, a name that would become both revelation and riddle. DeSalvo was a construction worker, a husband, a father. To his neighbors, he seemed ordinary. But beneath that ordinary face lived something darker. A compulsive liar, a petty thief.
Just hold on.
A man who once roamed the city posing as a modeling scout to assault women. Arrested for unrelated crimes in 1964.
How long are you going to keep this
He confessed to being the Strangler.
I'm telling the truth.
He knew details only the killer could know. Crime scenes, victims, the twisted knots in the scarves. But confession alone was not proof. No physical evidence tied DeSalvo to the murders. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no blood. Even his fellow inmates wondered if he was taking credit for someone else's horror, to secure fame, or perhaps protection in prison. The courts never tried him for the stranglings. He was sentenced for other assaults instead. In 1973, he was found stabbed to death in his cell, his secrets buried with him.
Man down, open the gate.
For decades, doubt lingered. Was Albert DeSalvo truly the Boston Strangler, or just a man desperate to be known, even as a monster? In 2013, modern DNA testing finally linked him to at least one of the murders. The case of Mary Sullivan, the last victim. It was a partial answer, not a full one. 13 women were dead. One was proven. 12 remain in the shadows.
Today we can confirm
the story
that
of the
DNA
Boston Strangler is more than a tale of
We are
crime.
moving forward with
It's
charges
a
against
mirror
the suspect.
of fear, media frenzy, and the fragile trust between safety and chaos. It showed how a single figure could paralyze a city, and how truth can remain elusive, even when confession seems clear. And in the end, Boston learned a lesson still relevant today.
The monsters that haunt
Sometimes
us
the
most.
monsters that haunt us most, we're the faces we least expect. Next time, another story where truth hides behind terror.